Although this series is called Wood to Iron, there is another thing I have to address, and that is the steel-hulled ships. That is what today's episode will be about, and the rise of them. If you see a ship today, it'll mostly be made out of steel. This is because steel is stronger and more efficient than iron, despite being more expensive and harder to produce. I'll get now into the rise of steel-hulled ships and how steel allowed for ships to be made at greater quantities. Around the late 1960s, Thomas Ismay purchased the White Star Line and revamped the company, making ships like the Atlantic. No, not that Atlantic. No, not that one either. Okay, good. And also the Britannic. No, not that Britannic. No, not that one either. You know what? We'll just skip that one. Screw propeller and steel hull had demonstrated how good they were. At this time, all ships were still made out of iron. However, Cunard's Etruria and Umbria were the last to actually be made out of iron and have sails. After this, sails would disappear from ships. Steel hull would next come, and the White Star Line would build giant ships like the Oceanic and later the Britannic, which would be their last ever ship. Like, the MV Britannic, not. Yeah. All three materials would be continued use in shipbuilding, however, wood was the least used, and iron was slowly fading out as steel was more efficient, despite being more expensive. The advancements over to steel hull would allow for bigger ships to be made and would segue into our next episode of Wood to Iron. And although this one is short, this is mainly just to cover to steel, and the next episode will not be mainly about materials, but rather about actually the big liners that would follow.